Okay, we were just talking about Maverick and Maverick's interaction with other dogs. Because the dog is only really protective when you guys are around, especially when people come to the door, but your dog walker can throw him in a car with 10 other dogs and he's fine, that indicates that it's more of a possessive or a protection instinct that he's engaging in rather than actual real aggression, which is good because that means we have to change you guys, and then he'll be much better with it. When you have dogs that are aggressive, then you have to teach them the counter condition. It's a much more laborious process. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do, how often does Maverick come and like nudge you with his nose or scratch at you or jump up on you when he wants you to pet him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when a dog does that, he's basically giving an order, saying, pet me. Well, if I have a job where I get to tell my boss when to pay me, probably not going to be a very good employee. And after a while, I'm going to get a kind of a sense of entitlement that I probably shouldn't have, because that gives me some authority if I get to say that. So when he's basically telling you to pet him, he's giving you an order. Now, he's doing it in a cute way, and he's a cute dog. But if he tells you what to do and you do it, then that tells him, I can tell the humans what to do, and they listen to me, so I must have some authority over the humans. If I have authority over them, then I'm responsible for them. If I'm responsible for them, then I have to protect them. So all these things are kind of connected. So I consider petting a dog our way of paying the dog. So instead of paying him right now for doing what he wants, I would advise you guys to start petting him for doing what you want. Now, for me, what I ask the dog to do is either sit or lie down. Sitting and lying down are pretty first of all, subordinate body postures, and they're pretty easy things to do. So this way, he understands the only way I'm going to get attention or the treat is by doing something for the human first. Now, if he nudges at you, you give him a counter order. Tell him to sit or lie down. And then as soon as he does, then we pet him. Now, I like to pet a dog under his chin, kind of scratch him there, because when a dog is proud about what it's done, his nose is parallel to the ground or tilted upwards. You might have seen him with a toy or something. He's walking around with his nose in the air. He feels really good about himself. Maverick. Maverick, come. Come. All right, so we'll get him started. We'll see if he... Okay, Maverick, come on. There we go. Maverick, come. Sit. That's what I mean about petting him under his chin. So from now on, what I'd like you guys to do is, and that would be a good opportunity of defining your space. Yeah, I have an interesting view here with feet, dog, feet. But from now on, if you ask him to do something, and then again, I kind of raise my hand over the dog's head, and that usually creates a head tilt up, and that puts a butt in the ground. As soon as his butt hits the ground, I reach under and start petting him under his chin and say, sit. If you do that enough, after a while, he just sits much easier. Like on walks, when you want to put him in a sit, he's just gotten more conditioned to doing that. It also introduces the concept, if I want something from the humans, I have to earn it. And I earn it by sitting in front of them. So after a while, instead of pawing at you, he's just going to come and sit in front of you, look up at you and say, look, I'm sitting, asking really politely, shouldn't you be petting me? Now, once he does that, we want to make sure we reinforce that. Otherwise, he'll go back to the way that he was doing it. Now, this is actually something I call passive training. So let's say that he didn't know how to lay down. Well, if every time he comes over and lays down at your feet, you reach over and pet him and say, crash, after a while, he associates the action with the sound with the reward. So that's why, instead of saying, good boy, or Maverick, what a smart dog, he came and laid down at my feet before I even had to ask you, that's not reinforcing anything. If he comes over and lays at your feet, say crash, and while you pet him, within 3 seconds. 3 seconds is key. But if you do this consistently enough, then after a while, he'll start actually doing those things, and these are what I call desired behaviors. And every time you do this, then basically you're reinforcing the leader-follower dynamic that you're looking for. And then he identifies as being subordinate to you rather than you being your protector. Does that make sense? Good job, Maverick.